Here we are, back at it again, my friends. All right, so we are recording.
I was 15 in the game, for you not to even know my name. I done came from the bottom, but now I'm on top, and I promise to give you everything that I got. Gotta know what it means to you, what it means.
What's been going on? Well, we got work, right? So you got work, and you got more work, and you got more work. Okay? Now, I think that, I got the gist off of my proposal last week. I don't want to dwell on it too much because I don't want people, our new listeners, because we're getting new listeners. I don't want them to think that that's the type of podcast that this is. It's a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of that, look, where is that? Okay. And one of the aspects of the podcast is the filth. Okay. I'm not above the shit. And I never want to get away from it. Right. I want, look, we got to tackle the tough issues here. And one of the main things that was on my mind is porn. Is it hurting? Because a part of me feels like it is hurting society and culture, right? But I have to ask myself, now, is that the side that wants to control and limit and keep things the way that we know them to be? We don't want it to change from what we know, from what we're used to. Because if you would have asked my parents back in the day, right? Mainly my mom, my dad was wide open. He was like, yo, have at it. Okay. This is, and I was watching this documentary. I've been on my Chicago-ness again because understanding any facet of Black American culture, Black American society will help you understand it holistically. Oh, boy, talking about holistically. Jeez Louise. So that's why I look at Chicago, Jacksonville, the Bronx, Brooklyn, right? I look at all of these places because through understanding them, do I understand my own upbringing and my own city from where, I come from, Baltimore, Maryland. So I've been down that road, and I don't know if it was, I'm not sure who made reference to it, but they was like, yo, man, once you 10, I think they said 9. They might even said 9. Once you 9, you're not a kid anymore. I think there was somebody was in one of these documentaries. They was like, yo, once you 9, you're not a kid anymore. I mean, and that's so crazy for me to think of now, but that's the way, that's the way my dad rolled. I mean, it wasn't even younger than 9. And it was like, yo, man, you just gotta be ready. You're going to, and this is the thing. I wish that I would have had a chance to talk to him, to really get his story. Then I would understand his perspective more. And I think even through looking through all of these things, maybe in a weird way, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get my dad's story, right? To get his upbringing, to get how he viewed the world, because as a kid, you don't, some some kids don't have the wherewithal to even ask these type of questions and to wonder, right? To truly wonder what type of person their parent is, right? So my mom, I tried, but she is a product of America. And like we said last week, America is full of secrets. My mom is like that. My grandmother's like that. Her whole side of the family is like that. Just secrecy under the American propaganda of secrecy. That is America, is secrecy. And I believe that my dad knew this. A lot of men, they know this internally. Even though they may never add words to it, but they know the feeling. They know the feeling of secrecy. They know the feeling that the haves and the have-nots. Well, the haves, they have a lot of secrets, and the have-nots are not allowed to have secrets. If you think of the Godfather series, they start out in crime, but ultimately he's trying to legitimize the business. So, best case scenario, he legitimizes the Corleone family. They are now legitimate. They are now doctors, lawyers, engineers, contractors, garbage men. They're all quote unquote legal. So let's say 50 years from the time that the Corleones are legalized, 50 years from that, now it's just a big, strong family, and everyone's like, man, they're so rich and they're so beautiful and they're so powerful. But their empire is built off of the blood of their enemies. Like, really? So this idea of crime doesn't pay is a secret. That's an illusion, because everyone, all of these quote unquote families with power when you trace it all the way back, it was built off of crime. All of these politicians, it's just built off of lies and just stealing. That's what people are doing. But yet they don't want you to do that. They tell you, oh, no, don't steal. Oh, no, don't kill. Oh, no, don't do this. But that's what they are built off of. So they're telling us this only to keep us at bay. Right? And it's like, yo, nah. And I feel like my dad, he knew this. And like I said, I feel every male knows this, that society has look, this is what we're going to pretend. We're going to pretend that there's Santa Claus, but in actuality, we are going to work and get these gifts and give them to our families. So when we multiply that for culture and for society and for power, it's the illusion. So Santa Claus is paying your taxes, going to work every day, working hard, pulling yourself up by your bootstraps. That's Santa Claus. And the reality is cheating, lying, and stealing. Like, that is your parents going to work to get you these gifts. That's the reality of it. Now, ultimately, one day, will there be a real Santa Claus? Someone who is so rich and so filled with free time that they are just getting all of these gifts and giving them away eventually, right? Like, yeah. So, like we said with the Godfather reference, his whole idea was like, yo, he wanted to legitimize the business, right? We have enough money, and now that we have all of this money and we have all this power, and now that we have all of this influence, now we can play a legitimate game, right? But to start is not legitimate. what starts the fire is not the same as what keeps the fire burning. The fuel, right? The fuel isn't the same as the spark, as the ignition. So that's all that we're saying. And like I said, I really wish that I could have talked to my dad to get his stories, to get his upbringing, and to hear it so that then I could understand his mindset and his frame. His just, and so I encourage you guys and I challenge you guys, if your fathers are still alive and they're not fully indoctrinated by the propaganda of America, because and it's not their fault. It's not their fault if they are, because that's what they had to do to survive. That's what they had to do to get to the point that they are now, is fully assimilate and to convince the outside, right? Convince their community, convince their peers, and ultimately convince themselves that they are fully indoctrinated by the propaganda of America, which is secrecy. So what do I mean when I say that? I say that because if you can't talk to your parents, like if you can't talk to them and get the truth, right? If you can't get the truth, like I couldn't get the truth from my mom. I couldn't get the truth. I can't get the truth from certain people that I know because it's all based off of secrecy. And people don't want to talk about the truth. They don't want to like really fully live the truth. So if your parents are like that, just know that it's not their fault, that's what they had to do, right? My mom had to assimilate. There's certain things that she went through that are painful and that she doesn't want. And it's not even that it's painful, because pain is not what quiets a person. It's more of embarrassment. Embarrassment is what will keep a person quiet. I was doing a job training type of thing, orientation for one of the jobs that I took up. And they were talking about sexual harassment, and they were talking about how 90%, it was like 90 or 90 something percent of sexual harassment cases go unreported. In prison, I'm sure a bulk of the rapes are going unreported, male and female. When you're in a female prison, from the guards, from whoever, right? From the different inmates. When you're a male, from the guards, from the inmates. This stuff is going unreported, not because of pain, but because of shame. Shame is what keeps people quiet. Now, these leaders, these tyrants, they know this. If you know that fear and pain will get a population to do a certain thing, well, then you know that shame will keep people quiet. They don't want to bring their shame to the light and be exposed for whatever the different things that are causing shame. But that's the reason why people are quiet, right? So in my mom's past, I'm sure there's a lot of shame, and that's what kept her locked into the propaganda of America, just full of secrets, right? What happened here? How did this happen? Boy, you don't be asking me these dumbass questions, right? Oh, you're a philosopher, huh? You're a Plato. Like, man, you that bitch ass Plato. Oh, man. Man, he was a bitch. Yeah. He was that old faggot ass Socrates. Like, man. Jeez. I mean, so that's what you get. You'll get that. Anything where a person is being exposed in some of their shame and embarrassment is being exposed, well, then it's like, yo, let's get you off the trail. So you'll get a lot of that. You face a lot of that. So when you guys, hopefully, like I said, if you get a chance to really get to know your parents now as adults, even if you're listening to this, no matter what age you are, if you made it this far and your parents are alive, look, try to talk to them about some real shit, about real life. Like, talk to them about real life so that, I think because that's what even this podcast is so that someone somewhere can have a real conversation. The type of conversation that I wish that I could have with my dad, but he's dead, right? Like, he's dead. I will never have that conversation. And it's like, man, like that is life. So those of you who have the opportunity to have real conversations, and it's going to be hard. It's going to, when you first try anything, it's going to be hard. But like I said, if your parents don't, they're locked in. Okay. The government is listening. The government got some type of microphones in their living room. So when you call or you talk to them, someone's listening, waiting, checking to see, like, yeah, I knew this whole time. I knew this whole time you was pretending. I knew that you wasn't fully assimilated. And they just ripped their bow. They just, boom, strap them up like Braveheart. Your parents out there yelling, freedom. Right? So if that's the case, don't be too hard on them. But as I'm running through these documentaries, like I said, I mean, he's like, yo, man, as a shorty, you're like, yo, man, after 9, you're not a kid anymore. I mean, it's just like, wow, like, yo, that's crazy. Right. So if you spoke to, especially on camera, right? If you spoke to any of my parents on camera back when I was 9 about the magazines, right? Because back then that's what you had. You had, they were called dirty magazines. So you had your dirty magazines, and then we had our red light district, which is, Baltimore Street. And it was, so Baltimore Police Department is on Baltimore Street, and just like across the street is the red light district. And I want to say that it probably went, maybe 4 blocks, maybe like it could have been 2. So 2 to 4 blocks. That was our red light district. So it wasn't huge, but for those of you who don't know what that is, that'll be like your strip. That's where you have strip clubs. We had adult stores where you can buy videotapes, you can buy magazines, so you had everything. Like, yo, everything that you wanted to see and do that was sexual in the city, that's where it was housed at. Like I said, it was right across the street from the police department, and it was open. Like, I just remember being a kid, because you had to walk through there to get to downtown, like the Inner Harbor and all of those things, coming from my neighborhood. So my neighborhood was East Baltimore, and you had to walk through. That was, I guess that was a safe path, or that was just, look, my dad's just what he liked. So he wanted to see some titties. He wanted to see some ass. So we walked We walked in Baltimore. I don't really know why, right? But that's the way we walked. So, like I said, and I'll harp back from time to time, I really wish that I could have those type of conversations with them. Now, I know it's certain levels that a person can go. So, when you guys are having your conversations, you got to meet them where they are, right? They just got to talk about their life. How was it when you was a kid? And let's take it from your earliest memory. Let's just come on all the way up. And then as you start to hear those different stories and you hear their friends, and as you start to hear their friends and the different stories there, then you can really understand. And one of the tragedies with, like I said, with my mom is that, you know, she didn't want to talk about those things. But I wanted, you know, I was aware, and I wanted to get her story to hear. And like my grandmother, she's still alive. I would really like to get those type of stories, but they have their look. I'm a grandmother, so I can't tell when the first time that I was out trying to suck some dick. Like, they're not going to tell you that story, right? Oh, I just wanted to suck his dick, baby. Like, yo, they not. They're not going to tell you that story. That story is not going to come up. But if you could get it, that's a great story, right? Like, that's a great story to get because they feel that comfortable with you. I remember I interviewed a woman, because I was doing like a mini documentary on this lady. So she was telling me, you know, different things, and she was very open. She was very open about like just her marriage. She was very open about her marriage. But I don't recall her telling me about her first boyfriend. Right? I don't remember her telling me about her first boyfriend. About those type of things. But she could have. I mean, her first boyfriend could have been her husband, right? But like I said, I mean, she was open about things. But I'm sure that she held back. But she was very open about some stuff. So that was I believe that it was even therapeutic for her. And I forgot, at some point she even started crying as she's telling the story. I'm not really sure if it was about her marriage or, you know, but at some point she's crying. And it was just very eye-opening, right? So if you can get that type of stuff from your grandmother, I mean, well, your parents, whoever's alive. But I know that I could have had a real type of conversation with my dad. Like, I could have got a real conversation because men, a certain type of men, get a certain type of conversation. So there are some things, like when I talk with my homies back home in Baltimore, I talk to them a certain way that I wouldn't talk to you guys. I wouldn't talk to you guys like that. Certain things, so certain limits that I know a person can go. Right? Now, I grew up in a gang. Like, I know gang life, I know gang culture. So I can talk to a gang member and they will talk to me and tell me things that they wouldn't tell somebody else. Because they know that, like, yo, nah, he with it. Nah, he from it. You know? Like, oh, he know. Yeah, okay. So all of that stuff is a part of it, right? Now, like I said, my parents, they would have told you, especially on camera, both of them would have told you that porn, or because video, like pornography, like the videotapes, it wasn't widely distributed. It wasn't widely distributed the way porn on video, like porn on the internet is. It like, that's a different level of distribution, right? That's a different level. So we really can't compare, but my parents would say like, no, this is going to hurt the kids, right? This is going to hurt the kids. When I think about my 16 and 18-year-old self, like, I wasn't watching porn like that. Now, I told you guys about the time when one of my roommates, I went into his room, because I knew that he had porn on his in his VCR, right? So I had a VCR, but I had like a Dreamcast, I had PlayStation 2. So I was like more into games, but every now and then I had a girlfriend, but every now and then, right, I would rev up the old engine to some porn, but it wasn't, but I didn't own any, right? So I'm sure, you figure I'm like 16, 17. So I'm like 16, 17. Even at 18, because I believe that you could buy it. You could go into those adult stores at 18, I believe, right? Just the fact that I'm saying I believe means that y'all never went into one. And it wasn't like I was against porn. Like, I was out there trying to get bitches. Pardon my French. Trying to get these queens, okay? I was out. I was on the hunt like everybody else. But I just didn't even bother or care about like a simulation, because that's really how I see it. I just see it as a simulation. It's like practice. It's just like it's like a game. I would rather play Tomb Raider than go out and raid some tombs, right? So let's say Egypt. Now, I would want to go to Egypt and spend about a day, but I would rather play a video game where I'm exploring the pyramids. And now there's a lot of things that come into factor with that. And I think that we're hitting on something. Matter of fact, let's pull up Pornhub right now. Let's go into private window. All right, so we got a new private window. Let's go ahead and pull up Pornhub. See what the youth is watching. Okay. We get here. We got hot porn videos in the USA. It's like a song. I got my hands up, and my songs coming up in your can. I'm in my, like, yeah. Stroking my cock like, yeah. Look, got my hands up, and my arms coming up in okay. Yeah. Hot porn videos in the USA. Yeah. Hot porn videos in the USA. So, we got girls with, so we get here, we land. I guess they got, this is my first time coming to Pornhub. I usually go to X videos, but I wanted to go somewhere different. I wanted to be like a learning experience for both of us. Now, this is a trigger warning, and I do want to, let's make sure, because I want to bring that down, but I want to make sure that my mic sounds right. Check 1. My mic sounds right. Check 2. My mic, right? So make sure that my mic is right. Matter of fact, I can bring that back. My speaker's here, but we'll just turn my speaker off because we got to really get into like, yo, what are the kids really, what are they really getting, right? Is this helpful or hurtful to society? And like I established when I was a kid, I wasn't really, I looked at porn, right? But I didn't have, and I don't know if it was because I didn't have the access, but when I got a job, I was buying video games, right? So porn was still available, but I was spending hundreds of dollars on clothes, shoes, and video games, right? Clothes and shoes was for status and getting girls and stuff like that. And then video games was my own personal pleasure. So when we land here, we have, if you're having issues with video playback, please try disabling ad block. You can or purchase the Pornhub Premium. Let's say, how much is the premium? How much are people paying for this shit? All right, let's see. I agree. I mean, I'm not saying a price though. Now I know how it works as far as the pay scale. The pay scale is going to be the same. It's going to be based off of advertising. Let's see. Links and videos, Pornhub Premium, explicit material. If you're under the age of 18, if such material offends you or if it's illegal to view such material in your community, please do not continue. So I'm not seeing where this is, charging us. So let's see. I agree. Enter Pornhub Premium. Okay, so I guess that was like to get us to the first page. Okay. More than 350,000 videos on Pornhub Premium. Premium content, our carefully curated selection of high definition video is constantly expanded. So you never have to watch the same video twice unless you want to. They got Braziers, Property Sex, Jules Jordan, Jay's POV, Porn Pros, New Sensation. All of this shit is new to me. Like, I didn't hear about any of this stuff. Kinky Family, SpankMonster.com, Family Strokes, Sis Loves Me, Pornhub Original VR. That's, so me personally, that's what really gets me to where I'm like, yo, yeah, that's something I want to try. All right, so the VR, so I can see value in the VR, right? But that's a high price tag to even get in. That's a high price tag. Porn VR, meaning that you got to buy a headset. The headset gonna cost you around $200 to $500, right? So you got the VR, so you got the porn VR, and you got the fleshlight. Like, yo, you in business? Like, this is, now you're playing with power. Okay, let's do it. Fake Hub, see more. Okay. HD videos, premium. Members enjoy full HD 1080p movies, 4K, and tons of VR videos. Doesn't get much juicier than that. Then they got virtual reality. Watch virtual reality porn in 2160p video quality with new full VR scenes added regularly. All right. Reality porn for PlayStation VR, Oculus, the Vive, Samsung Gear VR. All right. Okay. DVDs. Now, this is something, look, I didn't know that people was even watching DVDs as far as porn, but hey, you have your old school guy, I guess like vinyls. You got guys who just look. These are the classics that they spanked off to. So they wanna relive those glory spanks. All right, choose from thousands of full-length titles, all available on demand and in HD. Frequently asked questions: what is Pornhub Premium? What extra content do I get? What features do I get? Is it secure and discreet? Can I cancel anytime? All right, let's see. Pornhub Premium is like Pornhub you know and you love, but way better. You get tons of added features and content. Think Spotify or YouTube. You can use Spotify for free, but you can also buy a membership to Spotify Premium or YouTube Red and enjoy a far better experience. This product makes paying for porn actually worth it. Okay. This is letting you know that you get all types of content. All right. With features, you get DVDs, you get customer support, and you get to, I guess, post your comments and stuff like that. Now, all of these pictures have like beautiful girls, right? All of these pages that I went to, can I cancel anytime? We're positive you wouldn't want to cancel. Nonetheless, it's super easy. Head over to. Now I remember I did pay for some type of porn thing before. Let's see. You head over to this support.pornhubpremium.com. Cancel for instructions and links on how to get in touch. Jeez, get in touch with our support by phone, chat online. Like, yo, that's bad business, bro. And this is one of the things, like, so I think I signed up. I'm not really sure. It's been a long time ago, but I signed up and I paid. Like, yo, I had a paid subscription to some type of porn site. And like I said, this was years ago. I can't even think of what it was. But I do remember the video that I don't remember the actress's name, but it was like a maid. So she was a maid. She was an American maid. So she wasn't French, but she had on like French attire, right? So she's like a French maid, but she's American. And as a white woman, and probably a MILF level, right? And she had these tan lines, like the I guess the bra tan line and the panty tan line. And I just remember, like, yo, I just love that. Like, I just love that video. And so that's the video that I remember from this paid subscription that I had. I don't remember the service. So I don't remember the service. I don't remember, but I do remember that clip, right? So I remember that clip, and I remember that the billing was like, you know, from Africa or from Spain, or right. It had all these crazy addresses because I remember I was banking at BB&T. So I see this charge on my bank account, and I'm like, yo, what is this? So I go into the bank, and there's this lady, right? It's this woman. She's like helping me out with this, with this charge. And, so we're in there, we're trying to figure out, she's doing the Lord's work, trying to figure out, Okay, where's this charge, right? You know, somebody done stole this man's information, stole this man's money, his $30. Somebody done stole this man's $30. He want to get that 30 back. Look, man, I need that $30. Okay, and I'm sure that I got an overdraft fee, right? I wasn't even expecting that 30. So I got an overdraft fee. And I need that 30 back. And then she was like, and then so she's doing it, she's investigating, doing the Lord's work. And then I see her, she just kind of laughs a little bit. And then she got to come back and she got to tell me that, this comes from when, some pornography site that you just subscribed to. And I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that. But I still need that 30 back though. Cause I canceled that. Right. So let's see how much the premium costs. So, okay. Look, this is what you can get. Unfortunately, we are unable to accept credit cards at this moment. And see, the porn industry, I mean, they have a hard time. So, right now on this screen, is just a white woman, brown hair, green eyes. And she has a dick in her hand and it's like pretty much in her mouth. Her tongue is on it, right? Like I said, disclaimer for anyone who is trying to, beat this addiction. If you're addicted to porn, and you feel anything negative, this is your disclaimer that, I'm going to be describing all types of graphic stuff. So you should check out. That way, you can avoid. I don't want to tempt you. All right, so 1 month is $14.99. A year is $11.99 with one. So you pay $143. I was about to say point. So you pay $143.88 a year. You save 20%. So let's see your method of payment. Bank transfers. Oh, and crypto? All right. So you can pay with cryptocurrency, or you can do a bank transfer. And again, this even ties back to what we were saying with that secrecy, right? They're going to put you in there and then they're preying on you to feel some type of way, feeling bad, feeling whatever, and you don't want to bring awareness that you are looking at porn, right? So then that way, boom, now they got you and you locked in, right? So now, like I said, that was $14.99 or $140 something a year for the paid. We're not going to do that. Okay. All right. Now we got on our page. This is just the default because I believe now technology starts with porn. So like algorithms and all of that stuff, learning your algorithm, learning your preference, learning your taste, tailor-made pages based off of what you like. All of that stuff originated. And porn is like leading the way. And so as good as we think YouTube is, Pornhub and different types of services like that, they're going to be a step ahead. Right? So this is just your popular stuff. So what are people liking? Because once we start clicking, once we create an account and we start clicking on certain things, well, then they're going to tailor make and be like, oh, all right, he likes this, right? Oh, Bo likes likes dark-skinned, big booty bitches, right? So right now, they don't know what I like, so they got Bratty Sis, Ruby Red Bottom tells Step Bro, we have all secrets. We all have secrets. Right? And then we have Braziers, Annabelle Red brings her BF home to give him oral, but Charlie Phoenix, so I'm guessing, I don't know if this is with like the sister, so it looks like maybe the mom, maybe. So this is like the boyfriend comes home, the daughter brings home her boyfriend, and maybe the mom and the boyfriend get it in. So I think that's what it is. And then they both join in. So now you got the mom, the sister, and the boyfriend all going at it. You got Jay's POV. Teen stepdaughter Myra Monroe always gets her way with maybe her stepdad. Okay, so here you just got, I'm trying to think because you see her back. I'm trying to see if that's tattoos or if that's just like a skin rash. What is that? I think that's just her skin. Right? So this is all, all white women. Stepsis Megan Sage rubs my fat dick on her big booty and makes me come. Okay, let's see. What's that? Team Skeet, sis loves me. So, let's see. Lauren Phillips to stepson. So you got like a lot of steps, a lot of stepsisters, a lot of just siblings, right? Whether it's so far, I'm just seeing a lot of step bro, stepdaughter, stepsister, stepson. So, I guess that's what's really leading the charge right now. So this one is different because this is a strawberry blonde. You don't see too many of them. Lauren Phillips to stepson. Don't use my jar. Put your dick in me and fill my pussy with. This is the caption. Yeah, this is a beautiful girl. She reminds me of a girl I used to mess with. She was like that, strawberry blonde. It's a real pretty girl. All right, now we got Ebony Bubble Butt back shots POV. All right. Cream for me, baby. Now, this account has a blue check. All right, so a verified model. Okay. Mom wants to breathe. This has a channel, so that I guess this lets you know that they have their own channel. So all of those other things, they had their own channel. So if we click on the channel, you get another pop-up comes up. All right, this girl is looks like she's peeing on the glass. This is very interesting. All right, let's see where we at. So this is like she has some ears. What are those things called? She has like elf ears on. So she got some elf ears, and she's you got tokens. I guess you can like join in and send messages and send tokens to this person. So I'm not really sure if this was. I'm not sure if this is like advertising or if I'm not really sure what this is. Right? But yeah, I think this is just an advertising. That's what got you to this, to the channel. And then you can subscribe to Bratty Sis channel. And then you can see all of their videos. Join Bratty Sis now. I wonder, is this like how you can maybe pay? They're ranked number 3. They have 368 videos. They have 3 million subscribers, and they have, 2 billion video views. I mean, that's just crazy. Now, I know that it works different for, like, advertising and porn videos work different. So normally, every million is between 2,000 to 6,000, but I'm quite sure with porn is going to be a lot less. So maybe every million is worth a few hundred, which I'm going to find out, right? Like, how does that work? Now, this Cream for Me Baby, this person is online, and it has a guy in the picture, like his picture. So I'm guessing this is a guy. So he films himself having sex with different women. And let's see if there's any ranks, or, I mean, what's, like, why am I seeing this guy? Grand Rapids. I don't even know where it is. His profile has been viewed 3 million times. Videos watched 94. So I don't know what that means. Yeah. Grand Rapids, United States. I don't even know where Grand Rapids is. But his videos made it to the top. What you see is a girl. I just figured it would be a girl, right? So a girl is, and then you have, so it starts to diversify. And remember, I did click on that video. So it's Ebony Bubble Butts. And then right from there, now I'm starting to see a lot of ethnicity. The ethnic log is changing on you, boy. So we got my dirty maid, petite Asian maid. She sure knows how to please her customer. This is 10 minutes. She's just cleaning, and then the guy's whacking off. So then I guess she's like, yo, she's gonna. Then you have me and my tiny Asian friends. So I don't know. I don't know if he was. I thought this was it says Ebony Bubble Butt. So I'm not sure, but I got a bunch of Asians up here now, which is, look, I like my Asians too. So, but I can tell, like, just from clicking to what little bit, like, yo, so now I got a bunch of Asians. And let's see this one. Creepy doctor convinced young Asian medical intern to fuck to get ahead. All right. I guess to fuck or the fuck to get ahead. All right. Okay. And then you have Colombian, right? So I'm not sure if the algorithm kicked in. I'm not sure if the algorithm kicked in, or if this is what, like, yo, this is because when I clicked on Ebony Bubble Butt back shots POV. I also clicked on one of these sis, the main. So Bratty sis, I clicked on the main link that took me to their page on Pornhub, and then when I came back, because I had to backtrack, so I'm sure from that point it started the algorithm started to go into effect, right? But you never know. This could still, like, yo, the bulk of whoever comes here, whatever country is the leading, which I would just guess it would be America. And like I said, they are leading the charge, so they know that I'm from America. They know that I'm from, that I'm in the Carolinas. Like, yo, they know all of this, right? They can tell. So this is, so the people from my area where I'm at who comes here, this is what I would think this is the bulk of what they're watching, right? So you got Colombian teen, which, who wouldn't love a Colombian teen? Like, very beautiful woman. Then you got Bunny Madison helps her stepson. So again, boom, we got the stepson, the stepness. Passionate stranger greedily and slobberingly sucks cum. All right, let's see. So this is just, I don't know what this is. Like, as far as I see the woman, but you just see her mouth like she's Catwoman, right? You just see her nose and her chin and her mouth, right? She's going to town, sucking some guy's dizzick. Step family shares a bed and hotel room. Stepmom first threesome. So again, you got the step and the three, because we saw that variation up here with the boyfriend. So the daughter brings home her boyfriend, and then the boyfriend, mom, and daughter end up having sex, right? Which she could be a stepmom. I'm not really sure, because I'm not really sure like how incest works, the laws and all of that stuff. Like, I'm not really sure how that works. Is it illegal? So that's why they got to use step, right? They got to use like step brother, step family. So I'm guessing that's what it is. So I don't know if before that, I don't know when it was legal, when it wasn't. So I'm not really sure, if it was just, brother and sister, right? I'm not sure. Hot brunette or mom, like, cause I remember stuff like that. Like, I remember seeing that back in the 80s, right? Back in the 90s. You would see stuff like that. And they wasn't saying step, right? So this is something that's fairly a new trend. Hot brunette gets oiled and fucked doggy style cream pie. All right. So, like, this is what the kids are exposed to. Let's see. Best friend let me fuck her creamy pussy. Raw after we cuddle. All right. So best friend lets me fuck her creamy pussy after we cuddle. So you got your best friend, which, all of this type of stuff. Look, man, people know. There is no such, come on, man. Guy and a girl, they best friends, get out of here. All right, Jay's POV, remember we saw that. Girlfriend's birthday party has the best orgy of 2023. All right, so here you got an orgy going on, 24 minutes. Just, this is like the stars. This is how the stars get it in, right? When you're a star, a celebrity, just in mass orgies. You guys know I love David Cho, and he was on Rogan's podcast. He was on Rogan's podcast, and he was just, talking about his adventures back in the day. We got to preface that with back in the day. So he was talking about that. And he was just speaking on like, orgy. So that's a rich thing. Like when you're rich and you're a star, celebrity, you're privy to orgies. Now, I was in an orgy once. It was, and I really can't say it was an orgy. This is when I was like 13. And it was me. I think it was two other of my homies, which the guys never have a problem with being named or implemented in these tales, right? The girls, I wouldn't say the girls' names, but so it was me, Ramon, and I want to say it was Marty. So me, Ramon, and Marty, and then it was three girls, and it was no implication about switching. Like, all right, now let's switch off. So everybody just kind of did their thing, and boom, and it was it. And then we just, all right, the day is over now, right? Now what are we gonna do? So because I remember we hooked school for this, because like I said, I can't say it was an orgy because we wasn't switching and rotating and changes. I remember years later, I was probably like 18, and I was in a situation like that. And I remember the girl was like, let's switch. I was like, whoa. And it was just so left field for me because I just wasn't, I just didn't come from that type of place where girls would say like, all right, let's switch. Like, this girl is wow. So yeah, that was crazy. All right, we got naughty step sis. So she's sleeping. Now, see, this is the type of stuff that I feel like this type of stuff is dangerous, right? That I do feel like that's dangerous. Here you got another black chick, right? So I definitely love my black girls. So I already know, like, yo, if I was on this site, my page would be crawling with black chicks. But man, these few Asian shots up here, which I already knew, that. But I would definitely. I don't know how much of the step sis and all of that step brother, which I don't really. That doesn't bother me. Like, I don't say, like, oh man, you're gross. You want to have, like, I don't care. That doesn't, but that narrative, I guess, because I really never had like a stepsister to where I was like, yo, man, I wish I could smash. Right. So I think that just comes from people who they just got hot step siblings. And it comes from the business, like, yo, you have all of these actors, right? You have all of these actors and actresses. And so, look, all right, we're already going to be over here. We're already going to be having sex. So now let's just come up with these different stories and different plot lines, right? Because like I said, so you have the one was like it was the sleepover. So it was, step brother, step sister, and step mother. They all sleeping over in the hotel. So you got 3, right? So it's a threesome. Then you have the girlfriend, the stepdaughter, her boyfriend, and then the mom, the stepmom. So again, you have a threesome. So all right, we have our threesome actors. Now let's just throw on these different storylines and see which ones stick. And whatever one people are clicking on, that dictates, okay, well, we got to keep going with this. Then you got stepdaughter was caught masturbating during porn. So she's masturbating, and then I guess, boom, the stepdad comes in, right? So there you just have like younger girls and older men, okay? Then you have obedient sex slave. This type of stuff doesn't, like, yo, this isn't bad. The only one that sends off a red flag to me is this naughty step sis fucked by step brother to come inside pussy before school. So there she's sleeping. He just goes, pulls her panties to the side. Like, yo, that's a problem. I mean, not from the video perspective, but from a kid. Like, yo, a kid just watching this, like, that, that's bad business. Like, yo, that's just dicey. That is dicey. All right. Being a stepsister is so hard. Okay. She has to fuck her stepbrother all the time. So this type of stuff, like, yo, this is definitely, for a kid, I feel like, yo, this is definitely, this is scary for a kid. Because when they see this stuff, they believe it. They believe, like, yo, they're really stepbrothers and really stepsisters out here. Again, the bustiest stepsister. So, but this is all narrative. This isn't the act of sex that's like, yo, I just feel like, yo, that's just not good. And again, this is just from people in my area, and what's popular. So, because the algorithm doesn't know my preference. So right now I'm just seeing the most popular stuff. Stepdaughter, blacked, free for all orgy compilation. So you got white girls and black guys. It's, like I said, this is more along like the rich and famous type of sexual experiences. They are, it's going to be orgy based. Family centers, Latina with perfect. Perfect. All right, let's see. I wouldn't say that, but look, she is pretty. She's a pretty girl. Then you got busty MILF, the gyno chair, so like a gynecologist, right? Morning sex with schoolgirl. Teen anal. More anal. Morning. So you get the morning before the job interview. So now this is like the low level stuff now. This is 430 views, right? This is like look, we're at the bottom. 244. That quickie was 244. They found me online and I squirted a lot many times. She got 434 views. Risky sex in public, that's 4,000 views. This is 85 views right here. This is a 50% click, positive clicks on this. Let's see what they got. In secret from my mother-in-law, I fucked her sweet daughter and come in her ass. All right, so who knows who uploaded this? Just because of the way it's written, it's the wrong one. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't know why they got 50%. Maybe people like, they just want a better class of porn. Who knows? So this is the low level. I've just been scrolling down. Oh, Jesus. Going hard pegging on my femboy. I never heard of that one. But this guy's, because he's getting pegged. And you got some Arab, right? So this is written in Arab. Then this looks like as a cartoon or some type of animation. You have a Sims, right? So ultimately looking at all of this stuff, like we didn't click anything, which I don't think the story, like just the headlines is going to tell us a lot, right? So I think with the magazines back in my day, you didn't have a storyline then, so why you need a storyline now, right? So maybe the storyline is not that important, and I'm making it more than what it truly is, right? Because I'm thinking with my mind, and I'm like, so I'm coming up with these potential problems, but that stuff may never happen. So if we look at, like I said, the only one that sends off a red flag to me would be this one for a kid, right? But really, when you really think about it, and like I said, I don't know, but when you think about it, I didn't have context when I was looking at those magazines either, right? So just the fact that they have all of these different clips and you have this wide access and you just, it's 24/7. This can be exposed to you anytime that you seek it. What does that say? And I got to go back to when I was talking about the game, right? When I was talking about Tomb Raider and how I would rather play Tomb Raider, right? I would rather play Crackdown 3. I would rather play Tekken than to actually, so as opposed to going outside and just shooting people and getting into a gang war, I'd rather play Crackdown 3. Right? So there's a certain level of experience, of human, natural, real experience that I don't care for when I'm playing these video games. Right? But when I look at porn, like I said, I look at I go to X videos. I don't use Pornhub, but when I go there, it's just, I rather be doing those things in reality, right? Like so I would just me thinking out loud, I think that a person who, for one, we can't get away from that feeling of pleasure. And there was this guy that I was talking to recently over Easter dinner. And he was saying how people work people work all day, right? You work all day, you working all these hours, you come home, you just want some pleasure. And he's talking about smoking, drinking, having sex with your girl or your guy, whatever you are. It doesn't matter. But you're seeking pleasure because you've been working all day. So porn and the addiction is going to, like I said earlier, humans are addicted, period. Like humans are addicted. So it doesn't matter if it's whatever, right? So I'm not, because when I say this isn't negative unless it's negative to you, the person who is experiencing it, and you don't want to experience that no more. Well, then I have to agree with you and say like, yo, all right, so what can you do to move away from that, right? So if the person who is experiencing this addiction says that like, yo, I want to experience more than just this addiction. Well, I'm with you, right? So as we say that the pleasure response from porn, right, from masturbation, that's just one element of it. Some people use it to get them in the mood, get them juiced up, and then they go and perform, right? Or to just keep your mind ready, right? Keep your testosterone. We all have our reasons, but that's why I like to stay in the pool, right? I like to stay in the pool because like that part, I need it to be active. I need to be active. I can't let that part just die and just like, nah, I gotta be ready. So everyone has their different reasons, but ultimately I think from an addiction standpoint, it stems from pleasure, right? If the weed, there's a certain feeling. Cigarettes, there's a certain feeling. And when you don't get that feeling, then your body is craving that feeling, right? So there's a pleasure type of thing going on. So from that standpoint, we're saying, all right, so our youth, do we want them watching and looking at this stuff and then getting overloaded with the pleasure, right? So that point, I think ultimately, no, we don't want our youth to, from a pleasure standpoint and just from a feeling standpoint, I had to look out the window real fast, but from a pleasure standpoint, we don't want to overload our youth to where they're now numb to that experience. But I'm speaking from theory because, all right, let's say some kid is just jerking off 3-4 times a day, right? Like, I don't know the long-term effects of that. Right? So a lot of times, like, yo, I don't know the long-term effects. So I can't speak on that. Only thing I can speak on would be the subplots, right? The sublines and the plots and things like that. But those things were available when I was a kid looking at porn. But that stuff went over my head because that's not why I looked at it, right? So for me now to be looking for plots and subplots and different things, like your regular youth, they're not looking at that stuff. Like, they really don't care about that, right? So I can't put that on them for the same reasons why, look, people couldn't put that on me. No matter what I was looking at when I was young, you can't say, well, he thought this and he did. Nah, I wasn't even thinking about any of that stuff, right? So I got to believe in just the youth and like, yo, for the most part, like, yo, they're going to be fine. People who are going to rape and do things of that nature, like, yo, they're going to do that stuff because they want to, right? That's how I feel. I don't. Yeah, we can say that. All right, it was done to them. Right, it was done to them as a kid. You know, some guy, he was raped, and that's why he's raping girls. I don't know. Yeah, of course, that could be a part of it. What came first, the chicken or the egg? Like, I don't know. That's above my pay grade, but just ultimately, for the sake of closure of this episode, I would say that look, that it's fine. Anything in moderation is going to be fine. What is moderation? So, just if you feel like you have a problem, if you feel like you have a problem, then maybe you do have a problem. And then I would say that substitution. So, okay, what are you going to substitute? So if you've been spending however much time you spend on this thing, how are you going to substitute that? If you are on heroin and your body is now hooked on it and you need that, then what else could you take? What else could you use to get that same feeling, right? So it's all about substitution. So it's no different from porn. What are you going to substitute it with? Right? So, to answer the question, is it hurting the youth? Just the exposure and the access to it? A part of me feel like it is, but it could just be me romanticizing. So I really have to say, all right, am I romanticizing about a past that did not truly exist? It only existed through my eyes and my perspective, but that wasn't the truth, because I was still brought under a level of propaganda myself that I have to shed. So, with that being said, Reese's
Everyday life, friends and family.